With the new Season 4 update in Black Ops 6, the iconic Zombies game mode Grief has finally made a return. A mode that we haven't seen in 13 years. With its exceptionally long hiatus, you may need a quick refresher before you jump back in game so that you don't get caught with your pants down. This video will be your quick and effective guide to absolutely dominating this new Zombies mode. I'll give you some gameplay tips and tricks, hidden interactions, and also a good loadout recommendation so that matches of Grief are a breeze for you and a living hell for your enemies. Really quickly, I just want to say if you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, a quick like, comment, or subscribe goes a long way in helping a small channel like me earn the favor of YouTube. We just recently hit 6K subs and I am ecstatic to see this channel and its community grow so quick. Regardless though, let's get right into that guide, starting with... So for those who are playing this mode for the first time, or for those veterans who simply forgot after such a long wait, let's go over how this mode works. This is a PvPvE mode. This means you and 3 other players are competing with another team of 4 to outlast each other in a match of zombies. The first team to die out completely loses the match. You can't directly damage the enemy team, but you can indirectly influence their fate in various ways to sabotage them and get them killed first. These ways include, but are not limited to, shooting them with your weapon to cause visual impairment and temporarily slow their movement, meleeing them to cause extreme visual flinch, temporarily slow their movement, and delay health regeneration, as well as using tactical equipment like stuns and shock charges to further disable them. One thing that's very important in this mode is shock charging and meleeing enemies to deny revives. This means that you can interrupt an enemy's revive, preventing them from resurrecting their downed teammates. This is something you need to prioritize when you notice a member of the enemy team goes down. Do your best to ensure that they do not get revived. You'll also notice these play spaces are not full-size maps. They are little portions of the typical round-based maps to keep you and your enemies in close proximity. Despite this, they do include all of the necessities for survival, such as a pack-a-punch machine, a Wonder Fizz, a crafting table, armor station, and ammo station. This info right here will influence our loadout selection later in the video, as you'll be fighting in more close-quarter spaces with high enemy density compared to a typical round-based experience. Finally, the last thing you need to know about the functions of this mode is the objective system. Similar to a SAM trial in the round-based mode, occasionally you will receive objectives to complete. You are competing with the enemy team to complete these objectives before the enemy team can. If you successfully do this, you can apply one of many debuffs to the enemy team to sabotage them and hopefully get them killed. Though most of these debuffs aren't too bad and can be easily survived if you play your cards right, I must mention that if you notice the selected debuff is Weapon Carousel, you need to win that objective, as this debuff will actually end up removing both of your weapons by the end of its duration, and if you get unlucky and end up with something like the PM pistol, you could be in deep trouble. The rest of the debuffs include things like slowed movement speed, weapon damage nerfs, hostile elite spawns, and ammo drain. Now that you know how the game works, let's get you properly equipped to actually win. When choosing the weapon that you want to spawn in with, remember that with 8 players in a very small arena, it's going to be very chaotic. So I recommend taking reliable weapons that don't require too much setup to be good. Any of the shotguns, SMGs with high magazine capacities, and explosive weapons like the packed LR or GS45 are what I found to be most effective. Although you can choose any gun you feel comfortable with, one thing I want you to pay extra attention to in Grief compared to typical round-based is your melee weapon. The melee weapon is something you really want to invest in this time around, because at the end of the day, this is the only weapon that you can guarantee will stick with you the entire run. Having a good upgraded melee weapon in your back pocket at all times will ensure that if you get hit with a debuff such as Frozen, Weapon Carousel, or Ammo Drain, you still have something that can slay out and keep you alive. Also, during my playtime, the Melee Kill Cap Zone Challenge popped up very often. This means that if you have an upgraded melee weapon when no one else does, you will easily stop the competition and guarantee a victory when this challenge is active, and trust me, it is very common. And finally, remember that you'll be meleeing enemy players often to deny revives, so having an upgraded melee weapon will allow you to continuously deny revives while also easily killing zombies and avoid putting yourself at risk. So I highly recommend you use a melee weapon with fast attack speed like the nunchucks or the collie sticks so that you can quickly deny revives and kill zombies quickly. Also, make sure you have the Espresso Augment on your Melee Macchiato perk and grab it early on into your Grief run. Melee weapons are extremely important in Grief, guys, so don't overlook them. So now that we've got our weapons sorted out, what lethals and tacticals should we bring and prioritize using? I think the absolute 100% best tactical to bring into this mode is the shock charge. Not only is this thing adept at freezing hordes of zombies and saving your life in sticky situations, but as mentioned earlier, it can shock enemy players and prevent them from sprinting or reviving teammates. This way, whenever you notice an enemy go down, you can throw a shock charge on their dead body and electrocute their unsuspecting teammate when they go for the revive. This will ensure that that downed enemy stays downed and also puts the reviving player at greater risk of going down themselves. Shock charges are also the only way to deny enemy revives from a distance. So if you catch an enemy player getting revived across the map, chuck a shock charge over there and buy yourself some time. For lethals, the selection is less important. Mainly I would say go with what you're comfortable with, although I will mention C4s and blast traps are specifically adept at finishing the equipment kill cap zone challenges due to their massive blast radius, so those are both good options there. Now this next part is interesting as there's actually two ways that you can go about it. You can either prioritize keeping you and your team alive, or prioritize sabotaging the enemy. Let's start with the best defensive options. The obvious choice is Aether Shroud with the Group Shroud Augment, as this will instantly save the life of you and your nearby teammates. Though Healing Aura is also good for instantly reviving down teammates from anywhere on the map if your enemies aren't letting you get that revive off. And finally, for a more selfish option, Frenzied Guard with the Frenzy Fire Augment is exceptional at keeping you alive and giving you endless ammo to work with. This will also cause all zombies to target you and only you, potentially saving your teammates, and also allowing you to focus large groups of enemies to your location so that you can more easily complete certain kill-based cap zone objectives. Now let's take a look at our offensive options. First up, the Energy Mine with the Turret Augment. Now this might seem odd at first, but if you didn't already know, these Energy Mine turrets will actually target enemy players in this mode. These Energy Mines will shoot enemy players, slowing their movement speed and even delaying their health regeneration, all on their own without any assistance from you. This is a good way to keep constant and unending pressure on your enemies to ensure that when they slip up, they go down and stay down for good. This is also a form of area denial, keeping both zombies and players away from wherever they're placed. Next up, Tesla Storm. This field upgrade is a good mix of defensive and offensive capabilities, as it will both shock zombies attempting to attack you and also shock players that stray too close to the beams. This means that you can use this field upgrade to keep your team alive and disable your enemies at the same time, denying revives and getting them killed. Activate it when you see a downed enemy and stay close to them to ensure that they stay dead. So yes, Gobblegums are indeed active and usable in this mode, though certain ones like Idolize, Wonderbar, Exit Strategy, and a few others are specifically disabled. Really quickly, I just wanted to mention a few that you should consider using in Grief. Starting with Nowhere But There, these are relatively common, but very effective at instantly reviving a teammate when your enemies won't let you get them up yourself. Profit Sharing is another good one to give your team a boost in essence towards the beginning of the game, to give you an edge over your enemies right at the start. Finally, these last two are ultras, so you may not have many or even any at all, but Near-Death Experience is a godsend in this mode, allowing you to instantly save yourself or any nearby teammate from death. Raindrops is also a good way to get a head start by dropping every power-up in the game for you and your team. So now that you're well equipped and ready to jump in the game, let's talk about the gameplay itself. The number one thing you need to prioritize in this game, besides obviously keeping yourself alive, is ensuring that the downed enemies stay down. When an enemy goes down, you'll be notified on your HUD. This is your indicator to immediately find wherever they died at and camp their body. Melee and shock charge any enemy who tries to save them and do not let them get back up. Now obviously when you're doing this, please remember that your life is more valuable than ensuring that enemy's death. Don't go down trying to kill an enemy because you will put yourself and your team in a bad position. Next up, when you notice a cap zone is beginning to spawn in, book it to that area. Be prepared to complete whatever challenge it asks of you. Don't abandon your team and cause them to fail, because this will only hurt you in the long run. Work together and complete those objectives as quickly as possible. Especially if the zone's debuff is Weapon Carousel. This debuff will ruin you and your team if you don't have a proper melee weapon to back you up. And this next part goes without saying, but I'm going to mention it anyways. If your teammate goes down, don't be an asshole. Do your best to save them. Whether that's sticking a res, using a field upgrade, or a Gobblegum, do whatever you gotta do, because as soon as one of your teammates go down, you are outnumbered and it will be much harder for you to survive. With that being said though, again, prioritize your life over everything. Don't get yourself killed trying to save a teammate, because if you both end up going down, well then you basically just lost the whole game. And there you go, congratulations, that's basically everything you need to know to succeed in the new Black Ops 6 Grief. If you have any other ideas, tips, or tricks that you would like to add that I haven't mentioned here, please leave a comment below. This video took quite a bit of effort to edit and put together, so if you found it helpful, I would greatly appreciate any support. Whether it's a like, comment, or subscribe, it is all greatly appreciated. Thank you again for 6,000 subs, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.